Hi, my name is Justin. This is Nooks Cooks, and I'm gonna do something a little bit different today. Here's a kitchen tour. This is our real kitchen. This is not a set. This is our everyday family kitchen. We started planning for this in 2021. The work was done in 2022. So when we started planning for this project, we had lived in this house for about 5 years, and that gave us enough time to 1, save for the project, and 2, really live in it and figure out what best fit our needs for a future kitchen that would last us for a long time. We worked with an interior designer on this project, and I know that's very privileged to say that we worked with an interior designer, but for us, it was really helpful to get those last few details to figure out what was best for us. Because, you know, when Megan first came here, one of the first things she did was she opened a drawer and she said to us, these drawers are really shallow. And that's just not something I would have thought about when we were working on this project. And those are the things that you just can't do with AI, or, you know, you could find it on the internet, but it would just take so long, and having somebody to guide you along the way to figure out all those details were great. So Megan Warren Interior Designs, I'll leave information about her firm, her website, or Instagram in the description below. So this room used to be super dark. Our house in general is pretty dark because towards that way is the south. So the sun goes east to west, and the exposure of the kitchen is north facing. So the light is not direct light, which was not ideal. The original kitchen had beige walls, dark countertops, these orange cabinets, which was very early 2000s, and a dark floor. So one of our objectives was to make this room as light and airy as possible. So we have the walls repainted in white. We have these white quartz countertops. The surround cabinets are done in white, which is classic. And the kitchen island is done in a contrasting white oak, and the floors are in white oak. We were deciding between 2 different colors when it came to this kitchen. We were thinking about, well, this was gonna stay the same, the white oak on the island, but it was between white surrounds or green surrounds. And the green was beautiful, but we ultimately decided that for keeping it classic and for us to love it for many years to come, that we decided to do white, because white always looks nice in a kitchen. Here's one of the centerpieces of our kitchen. This is the kitchen island. Our original kitchen island only had seats for 2 and maybe 3 when we really had to cramp people in there. And that was just not enough for what we wanted for our kitchen. I've seen people with this same model of home have an island and then a table. And then on the opposite side, which you can't see, are the seats for the family room and watching TV. And for us, we thought that was too many tables and chairs. So we came to the conclusion that we wanted a giant island. We had been thinking about a giant island for the longest time, and we jokingly called it the Big Island. So now our island seats 6 people. One of the inspirations of this island was David Diggs and Emmy Raver Lampman's Architectural Digest video of their kitchen. They had an island similar to this. I think it seats 4 people, but it had that same concept, and we really loved it. We were really fortunate with this kitchen that we didn't have to change any of the layout. We actually love the layout already. It has a great working triangle. Once you're standing at the island, within your working triangle, you have the sink, the stove, and the refrigerator right over there. So it's perfect. Every way you turn, you have access to the 3 most important things. And an added convenience, our kitchen island has a sink built in, so that makes it really great for cooking. To make this kitchen island really functional, we added a lot of drawers on it. So these are all custom cabinets, which is great because instead of having these really shallow drawers on the side of this island, they built the drawers to go midway through the width of the island. So if you pull these out on these full extension drawer slides, you can see we have huge drawers. We have 3 on each side. Another added functionality to this island, we put the garbage and the recyclables in these large drawers and these pullouts right here. So they're hidden and out of the way, but also really accessible. And also we have the compost bin right here. If you ever watch my cooking videos, you can see sometimes when I'm cutting something, I will pull all the scraps down here. And if you're ever wondering where they're going directly into this compost bin. If you can see, we have really tall ceilings. These are 10-foot tall ceilings. And the original kitchen, the cabinets only went up to right over here. So if you look at that, there's a lot of wasted space, and aesthetically, it never looks nice to have the cabinets that only go up to maybe 3 feet below the ceiling, and they are a magnet for dust. And it doesn't really look nice also when you place stuff on top, like plants and vases. I never really liked that look, so it was important for us when we had these custom cabinets designed that they were designed all the way to the ceiling. It afforded us a lot more storage. We have all the storage up here. We don't even have all of these filled yet, which is fine. But it's really important to visually, it makes the room look even bigger, and it gives us some added functionality at the same time. So in the original kitchen, there used to be a double oven in here, and I don't know about you, but how often do you have to use 2 ovens at the same time? Maybe in the holidays, we rarely had to. I can't even actually remember a time we had to use both ovens at the same time. So we had them removed, and in its space, we had additional pantry space. So this is our second pantry now, but we needed every inch for how much cooking we do. And this is our actual everyday pantry. We didn't style this in any ways. So there are these pull-out drawers, which make it great for accessibility, at least at chest height. We have different things like flours and sugar, any type of baking things. We have snacks in here. So 2 of these pull-outs. And then we have a back stock of all the things like soy sauce and semolina flour and peanut butter and vinegar, you name it, up there. And then below here, we have additional drawers. Ooh, additional drawers. Just keep noodles. Our rice cooker is in here. We have Tupperware down there. And this was just more storage, which you can never have enough of in a kitchen. This is our refrigerator. It's a GE Cafe counter depth refrigerator. This is something we had prior to this renovation. And we could have made this an entire wall, a built-in refrigerator. And as beautiful as they are, we decided against that because 1, they can be really expensive and they don't actually have all that much space in them. And 2, they can be expensive when they break. If they break, the repair can be expensive, or if it needs to be replaced, how do you guarantee that you can get an exact size refrigerator to go in its same exact space? So as much as we would have loved it, we decided to stick with our refrigerator here. And one of the reasons it was okay for us to stick with this refrigerator is that when I'm always thinking about aesthetics, I chose a refrigerator that had no water dispenser, ice dispenser on the front. It has like this clean front, and don't worry, there's still a water dispenser inside, and there's an ice dispenser down in the freezer. So this is counter depth, so it is a little bit smaller, so we have an extra refrigerator in the garage to make up for the space. But aesthetically, this was the best compromise between the two. And then cabinet-wise, there's a flippy cabinet above the refrigerator. We have proofing boxes for pizza, Cambros for pizza dough and any large-scale cooking projects, pizza boxes, more Tupperware, just tons and tons of storage. If you watch any of my cooking videos, you see this large and tall cabinet behind me. This is our appliance garage. So originally we used to have a built-in microwave here, and one day it broke, and it was a pain in the butt because we couldn't easily replace it with the same exact one. So we had to remove it, and there was this open space, and we bought another microwave to sit there in the meantime because we knew we were gonna redo this kitchen. So I knew that when we redid the kitchen, I did not want another custom microwave built in. Just was not something I wanted to deal with again. So Megan came up with this great idea for an appliance garage. So it has 2 doors. They fold out and fold in. And inside, we keep our toaster oven, our microwave, and then we have our blender, tea kettle, soda stream, and miscellaneous items. There are even extra electric outlets on the inside, so if you ever need to plug anything else in there. And it's great. We keep this open like 90% of the time, and it's really only really closed for filming or if we just want it to look nice and kind of things out of sight and out of mind. So this was a beautiful way to tackle that. So yeah, that's the appliance garage. When it comes to the lower surround cabinets in the kitchen, we have very few traditional cabinets that open. like the traditional with doors. We have almost all drawers, and this was thanks to a suggestion from Megan. When it comes to traditional cabinets, if you have to reach something in the back, it's difficult. You might have to remove stuff, and it just becomes messy. So in modern times, drawers. Drawers are great because you can reach everything in the back and easily access them. And then these are soft close, so they nicely close like that. And then on the top, we have these large organizational drawers for utensils and miscellaneous cooking tools, which are also great as well. In the back of our kitchen, we have the Backsplash. These are large format 12-inch tiles from Fireclay Tile. I can't remember the percentage. It's maybe 70-30 or 80-20 for matte tiles to glossy tiles. And that was an idea by Megan to give some visual interest to this backsplash. So if you look at different angles in the sunlight, you'll catch some of the glossier tiles, and that just adds another dimension to this backsplash. And to make it modern, we decided that we were going to have them stacked vertically. Here's the other centerpiece of our kitchen, the range. Like I mentioned before, we used to have a double oven that we had removed. So we had our contractor reroute the electrical down here. Before, we used to have this 36-inch gas range with 6 burners, and it was great, but gas burners can be messy, difficult to clean, dangerous. There's even some studies about the gases that come off from the lines even when it's off. So we wanted to look into the future, and we went with induction. This may look like your traditional electric cooktop, but this one is different. Induction uses magnets. So if I was to turn on one of these burners like this, it doesn't get hot. It doesn't actually get hot itself. What it uses are magnets for like a magnetically bottomed pot or pan. They will use magnets to heat it up, and it's super efficient. You can boil water in 60 to 90 seconds. You can have pasta on demand. So this is a Fisher & Paykel 36-inch induction range. When we were looking up what we wanted for here, there were not very many available at the time. There are a lot more now, but fortunately we found one that was aesthetically pleasing. Fisher & Paykel has 3 different types for this. There is the classic fascia, the contemporary fascia, and the professional, and this is the classic. We love this look. We think this is going to look nice for a long time, and we went with a single oven. So there's ones that you can find a double oven, but this just has a single oven, which can cover almost all our needs. We have that little toaster oven that can cover things if we need a second space for something that's smaller, and it has a warming drawer at the bottom, which is really nice to have too. Corners and kitchens can be pretty awkward, and Megan came up with a great idea of having this open bookshelf in this corner rather than having some dead space with like a flat panel or having a cabinet that you couldn't really open. So it was nice to extra space to put cooking cookbooks and little trinkets and personal items. And then on the lower corner, these can be awkward as well. This was another suggestion by Megan. This is like a kidney bean pullout. And make sure that we can maximize the space into the corner, and there are 2 shelves on here, which is great. Otherwise, you would have some dead space and unusable space in that corner, and this is the best way to use all of that space. In true millennial fashion, we added floating shelves on either side of the sink. Originally, there used to be a large cabinet here and a large upper cabinet on the left side, and we decided that it was just a little bit heavy and dark to have these upper cabinets to the left and right of this window above the sink. So we had them removed because we know we were going to be able to make up for that storage elsewhere in the kitchen. So originally in Megan's design, we had 2 equally sized or equal width shelves on either side of the sink. And we kept on looking at it, and we thought it looked awkward. So we decided that we were going to have one narrow shelf that was proportional to the size of the wall to the left of the sink, and then a wider shelf to the right of the sink that was proportional to this side of the wall. And I think it came out beautifully. We get to put a little bit of personal touches. We have these wine glasses. If you watch my Panacelios de San Nicolas video, You can see this is the mold for the cookies right up here. And we leave this out because it's beautiful and it's functional at the same time. More room for cookbooks. And then above both of the shelves, we have 2 sconces. We don't turn these on all the time, but when we do, they're very beautiful. We have 1 large sink. We used to have a double sink, a double metal sink. Not a big fan of metal sinks and definitely not a fan of double sinks. I don't think they're very functional. It's very hard to clean things and wash dishes. It's pretty limiting. So it's very important for us to have a single wide deep basin sink, and we've been really happy with this ever since. We do have 1 built-in appliance. This is our dishwasher. We're okay with making this built-in because dishwashers are standard in size. So if anything happened to this, knock on wood, it would be easier to replace than something like a built-in fridge. Originally in the kitchen, the previous owners had extended the kitchen cabinets to have a desk area, and we didn't find that to be very functional for us, especially because we were going to be putting a bigger island. So we just had the cabinets in the design extended under this window to be more of a buffet. This is for filming, so there's often more stuff on here, but for this video, we cleaned it up for you. But it's nice when we have people over for a party or a family gathering, we turn this into buffet for food. So instead of putting the food on the kitchen island and table, we can place all the food here. So it's just this nice single file line that people can load up their plates and eat. Like I mentioned, the outer cabinets are mostly drawers. This is the 1 true double cabinet that we have. And it's great for grains, rice, extra oils, extra things that we cook with for storage that we don't need to dig into the back very often. So this is the 1 cabinet we have. Otherwise, it's drawers. Thanks for following along on this tour. If you want to see more things like this, leave a comment down below and let me know. And remember to like and subscribe. Peace.